goofball. You're going to be all set trying to do stuff. Welcome to Beyond the Shadows podcast, hosted by One Soul Paranormal. It is November 21st, and this is episode 36. We're so worried about it. We were just talking about it. She's like, I'm like, yeah, we're going to end the season on 40 episodes. And she's like, this is 36. I'm like, yeah, we have next week was 37. And then 3 weeks in December 5th, 12th, and 19th.
I forget it's November, not December. That's why I'm like, I thought we were stopping before Christmas.
We are. This our last episode. Our last episode for this year will be December 19th.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just make the announcement now. We're going to have a big episode. We're actually going to have Athena on, who's the zombie expert.
For our last episode, episode 40.
Episode 40. We'll have Athena on. She's the zombie expert. She lives in Arizona, and she's they'll tell you that zombies amongst us and how the apocalypse is going to look out and everything. So it should be an exciting episode for that.
And then, I'm Maddie.
I'm Dan. Y'all should know who we are now. Yeah.
If not, well then, hey.
Yeah. Hey.
Weather?
Who was in first?
Didn't do weather.
It's cold.
It's cold. I'm sorry.
It doesn't say it's cold.
All right.
That's not that cold.
I was gonna say we don't like the heat, but we like the cold. Susan made it in first.
Hello, Susan.
Hello.
Number one tonight. I thought Kenny was gonna be that one.
Hey.
Going on, Lauren?
Gotta get here sooner, man. Hello, Lauren. Here's Kenny.
Kenny, you slacked it, man. Couldn't get to that bush in time, could you?
Brandon again. Hey.
What's going on, Brandon?
Lauren and Susan are chatting it up, and they're saying hi to each other, and yeah.
No Kathy and Amelita?
Man.
I see how that goes. It's probably bacon.
Hey, I mean, I don't mind. As long as there's food for Thanksgiving. That's all I care about.
Thanksgiving. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving this week.
Yeah.
And stuff. We're cooking Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to the Dark Oddity convention this weekend. It was pretty good.
I didn't go.
But it was a good weekend. Not a lot of foot traffic and stuff, but sold some things and stuff. Met some really good people. Which, speaking of, our vendor today, I met in at the Dark Oddities. Mm-hmm. If you want to bring her,
go ahead and start talking.
I gotta bring her thing back. Yeah, Cryptic Requiem. Cryptic Requiem Creations specializes in handmade bone and uranium glass jewelry. If you would like to be slightly radioactive or show off the beauty of life after death, they have got you covered. So they sell uranium glass, and she does the jewelry and stuff. If you want to go into the rave, can you go back to that picture, please? If you're going to go to a rave or whatever, you can glow. Everything glows under the black lights and everything. Actually, I bought a cellist from her. Uranium cellist. So, yep. Go check her out. You got on the Instagram and Facebook page. Go check her out. She got some really cool jewelry to buy and stuff. Some things are made out of bones and everything. So, go check her out. Yeah. And with that, we will bring in our guest this week, Christy, and everything.
Yeah.
Hello. Would you like to tell everybody about yourself? I know we post your bio on there, but just in case some people are lazy, they don't like to read.
That's me. I don't read. I'm like, oh, I have to write it, but I won't go over it. So if there's mistakes, that's why I hate reading. um, so let's see about me. So I randomly got into the paranormal. It's funny because I actually went from my initial like line of work was music production. And somehow going to college, I decided to switch from that to film production. And then that's ultimately what led me here. It's kind of a crazy story, but I guess everything happens for a reason. So about, I want to say it was like 7 years ago, a friend of mine was going to this haunted location. I'd never done it before. And he was just like telling me, but I was like, I want to go. And he's like, okay, you can come along. So Villisca Axe Murder House was my first ever investigation. The second one would have been Squirrel Cage Jail in Iowa. And after doing that investigation, because we just film everything, he's like, you should put together a little whatever. And I said, okay. So I basically put together like a 30-minute episode because I have my degree in film production. And I'm just like, let's do this. And it ended up being 6 episodes total of 6 different locations. Nick Groff ended up picking that up for VidiSpace. When he had that up and running, he put it on Amazon Prime for a while. And everything just kind of snowballed from there. It got me on America's Most Terrifying Places. I ended up on Destination Fear. And then, of course, I ended up buying this Charlie doll who ends up on Jack Osborne's show on Portals to Hell. So everything just kind of just went. So I don't even know how it all got here, but I love it. So we're good.
It snowballed in the good right way.
Yeah. Speaking of Charlie, we were just talking about that. Charlie is you want to explain Charlie real quick?
Yeah, so I'm an oddities collector myself. I love oddities, just anything weird and strange. If it's weirder and stranger than me, you know it's got to be off. And so Edinburgh Manor, which is one of my absolute favorite locations of all time, they had a Charlie doll, and I just loved it. And so I wanted one too, because that's how I operate. So I started looking for one. But like if you go online and look it up, you're just going to find all of the like new ones and whatever. But I wanted like an original one. I wanted an original doll. And so I was in an oddity shop one day, and there he was just sitting there. And so I was like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I bought him. I never expected, it wasn't like I was looking for a haunted doll. Okay. It just wasn't. I was never even expecting Portals to Hell to happen the way it did. Or for the EVPs that I've captured from him, just all this crazy stuff that's happened with Charlie. And it always does. Nothing bad. But I guess I'm just accepting the fact that he is what he is. So.
And now Charlie has his own Facebook page. If everybody wants to go check that out, what is this Facebook page?
Haunted Charlie. I think that's all. I'm like, I need to go look because I don't keep track of this. Charlie. Well. Yeah, Haunted Charlie. And he's up there. I think the cover photo is Charlie with his sister. I got him a sister. And they're, trying to end my life with a Ouija board and a cat. So fun stuff.
I knew that was going to happen. All right. So we have really bad internet sometimes. I'm going to let you know right now. If we disappear, our chat will talk to you. Just hang out. We will get back on. So sometimes we do go away. It's acting up. It's because they're all on the internet downstairs. That's probably why. But so that's how you got into paranormal, was you just asked a friend to go to to a haunted location, and it snowballed from there.
Yeah, and I've always been like into it. I was that kid that when Unsolved Mysteries came on, the only one I cared about was like the ghost episodes. But I also grew up near, and there was an episode on Unsolved Mysteries about Resurrection Mary. And not only did I grow up right by that cemetery, but my grandparents are buried there. Not only Resurrection Cemetery, but Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, which is considered home of the most famous photo of an apparition ever taken. And I just remember looking that up and trying to figure out, I want to see the best ghost photo ever taken. And if you look it up at the Bachelor's Grove one, I sat there for probably 10 minutes trying to figure out where the ghost was. And it turns out they were talking about what I thought was just a person sitting on a rock. So, but the best, I will tell you that I went back there as an adult, and you shouldn't trespass. Okay. I got a ticket for it. Totally worth it. But you didn't hear that from me. I took a photo there as an adult at like 3 a.m. And the photo that I ended up getting from the cemetery, there's like a woman in a red dress just standing there, like with her arms like she's holding a baby and her head turned towards me. I don't even have to tell people what they're. I just put the photo. I'm like, tell me what you see, and they pick her out every time. It is that defined. It's that place is awesome. Like, that's where
they gave you a ticket. You couldn't talk. They gave you a ticket. You couldn't talk your way out of that one.
I mean, I sort of talked myself down a little. See, here's the thing. It's like in Chicago, and I lived in the South for 12 years. So
Okay.
I went there. I still had South Carolina plates. And I was like, I'm sorry, officer. I didn't know. I put on the Southern accent real thick. And he's like, well, I could give you a $350 ticket, but I'm just going to make it $75.
Wow. Hey, I'll take the 75.
Yeah, I was wondering when we go to cemeteries, I'm like, if we get caught, can we talk our way out of it? Like, oh, we're just paranormal people. We're not doing nothing. It's open 24 hours. If it's open, it should be okay.
Well, it wasn't open 24 hours. That's the thing. Because it's in a national park. Yeah, this particular cemetery, because it's in a state park, it is closed to the public, but it's also one of those where you don't know where it is unless you know where it is type of things. So,
yeah.
So I know you just said it and everything, but your most favorite place is Edinburgh?
Yeah, that's definitely one of my top. For the longest time I've said it's my top. It probably is my top. But I just love so many places. The Squirrel Cage Dale is another one, but I've spent so much time at both these locations. I know that I'm so close with the people who own them. I've made I think a lot of my really amazing friends are location owners. They're some of the best people. And so I get so attached, not just to the building itself, but the people who own it and the spirits who are still there. So, and I think that's common for people who frequent places a lot.
We actually just started that. We have our own one of the ladies here locally that bought a building, and we've been doing work in her building and stuff, and got actually a really good bond with her.
Mm-hmm.
That's leading to other things too, but
But yeah, no, it's nice to have that bond with those people who do own those locations. And I feel like sometimes a lot of times those people get pushed out just because they own a haunted building. They don't get the recognition as themselves as a building owner. So it's really cool just to have those connections with them.
Yeah, I do a lot of the events and stuff I do. I actually started doing events because I worked for event companies and I did not like how they disrespected locations. Some of these bigger ones really just, they don't seem to care. It's all about money. And so I've gone in and made deals with a lot of these locations. And I mean, the deals are geared more towards helping them financially. A lot of times they won't even, this is the point about location owners. Some of the deals that I've made, they would actually get more money than they charge for people to do events. But so many of them refuse to take more than they should, I guess. I don't think should. But so many of them are like, no, we're not taking more. We'll only take this amount. And to me, that just blows my mind because they put so much money and time into these places. They're a lot harder and a lot more expensive to care for, and a lot of them really don't ask that much. They really don't.
No. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is we do events and stuff also, but I'm more about how we respect the building, respect the spirits that are there. And we tell people no Ouija boards are allowed. We're not crossing anything over, bringing anything back. We're not cleansing. This is their spirits. This is their house. If the building owner wants to get rid of somebody, they'll get rid of them,
Mm-hmm.
And we're so really big on respect on other people's property and stuff because, and that's also your name too. If you're tearing up their building, they're not gonna, they're gonna say, well, don't get that, don't let Haunted Souls come in here. They don't respect nothing, and they leave it all trashed and stuff. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
That, the whole respect, and that's kind of what we do here too. Is I love to get to know, like you guys can send me a list of owners that would love to come on and talk to them about their building. This is what the podcast and stuff has all really been about, is talking to other paranormal groups, and stuff, and then talking to building owners, because a lot of them don't get to advertise. I don't know. I'm a paranormal person for 4 years, and I still get people come to me at conventions. They're like, "Hey, have you ever checked out this place?" I'm like, "No, hold on, let me get my notepad here and write it down and stuff."
Yeah.
So we're always looking to talk to building owners just to advertise their building and to get their name out there and let everybody know about what building, what they have and stuff. So
yeah, there's so many out there, and there's so many people out there. I mean, it's just insane. Like the places that I hear of, but I travel the country too all the time. Like now being in Florida, I've already heard about like 7 different locations that I've never heard of. Like up until this week, I thought nothing was happening in Florida except St. Augustine, and they don't let you in anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
So you said Edinburgh's your favorite. So, okay. So we'll go with, what's your second favorite?
Oh boy. Well, I've done a lot of work at Squirrel Cage, so that's probably my second favorite. But they also own the Rails West Museum, and so those two I'm just going to put together because the evidence that I get from the Rails West Museum, and that's not a very well-known place at all. But part of that is because it's in Iowa, and so like 90% of the place is outside because they have all the old train cars and stuff. So you can't market it all year. You can only market it for a few months out of the year. And it's taking a lot longer to market that one and get it out there. But I have actual footage of like cabinet doors opening. And the footage is like on several cameras, and you can see no one's touching it. There's nothing. And I have it a couple of times where it happened, and it's only when you're like, "Hey, can you open that door?" and it'll just open.
So it's the haunted cars, the different rail cars and stuff are haunted too, and
yeah. I don't, I don't. For me, like the depot itself doesn't really have activity in it, but the train cars, there's 2. There's a mail car, and they have more than just the 2, but the mail car and the dining car are probably some of the most haunted places I've ever been. That dining car, you walk in there and you can just feel it. It's intense. It's insane. It's like someone's just sitting there with you the whole time.
There's something cool to check out.
Wow.
Something different. I mean, you're always going into buildings and museums and prisons and insane asylums.
Yeah.
But getting to go do like rail cars. I'm a big rail car. I used to work for the railroad.
Yeah.
So I'm really big with the rail cars. That would be really cool to kind of
something different,
investigate and stuff other than a building and stuff.
Yeah, they have one. There's a town in Nevada called Rhyolite, and so Rhyolite is it's in the state park too. It's I think it's actually in Death Valley, just barely. But the whole town is like they just left it, so it's kind of falling apart for the most part, but the train station is still like intact. So much so that they don't even let people go in there. But I'm like, that's where I want to go investigate. But that's a hard place. That's a hard one to get into. As far as that goes, you can do a little bit of it, but it's there's also a lot of snakes. So you don't really want to be there after dark and things like that. So, but that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, we did. We were in Dodge City, and we did like the Depot Theater there, where it's now they turned it. It used to be the old in Dodge City, Kansas. There used to be the original train station and stuff, and still there, and it was the Harvey Hotel and stuff like that. And now they've added a theater to it and stuff. So it was a pretty cool place to see with just the old, trains and hotels and stuff like that they had back there, the original.
Yeah.
And that. So So what is your most, it's just a two-part question. So what's your most scariest place and scariest moment?
Most scariest place, my son's bedroom. I'm just saying. He may be 26. But no, I don't. The funny thing is I don't typically, the paranormal stuff has yet to scare me. It doesn't frighten me. I will say that I'll just explain this experience. And this is actually sort of all on film. But we went to Waverly Hills and we took a group. So there were 9 of us that went. We were there for 2 nights. So the first night that we were there, and they tell you there's a specific room in there, and they don't tell you the story, and they're like, we want you to figure it out with evidence. So I won't tell you what that story is, but that's the room that we were in. So one of my friends who was there with us, we have like SLS footage of like, it looks like something like sitting on his leg and just like punching him in the leg. It's kind of funny. And then he started acting kind of weird, and I was like, let's get him out of here. So we take him out, and that night he goes to his hotel room, goes to get ready for bed, and notices that on inside of his thigh, he has like all these bruises. And this is the part that I talk about in the episode that we put together. And there's pictures of his bruises, and, it's just weird because it looks like handprints and fingerprints on the inside of his inner thigh. And so the next night we all come back, and he had sent us pictures, like he gets to his hotel room and immediately sends those pictures, and we're just like, wow, that's insane. So the next night, me being me, I'm like, you're going back in there. So we take him back in there, and this time, there's more of us in there, and for some reason or another, like, when you watch the episode, it kept telling us to move the camera out of the room or to not film in the room. So we turn the camera around, and as soon as no one's filming in the room, our friend like kind of starts acting weird again. I said, you know what? Let's just take him out of here. So we get him out of there. We go to bed. We leave in the first thing in the morning. Well, I go to take a shower, and I notice on the inside of my thigh what looks like a thumb and a fingerprint in the same spot where his bruises were. But the weird thing is, and I think the scariest part for me was like, it didn't hurt. It was such a deep bruise that it looked like it was an open wound, almost like somebody had taken a pole to my leg. And I was sitting there trying to figure out like why it wasn't bleeding. And then I was like, how did this happen? Is it going to go away? Is it going to get worse? Like, it freaked me out so bad, just like, because when something that bad, like that deep of a bruise happens, you're going to know where it came from, and nothing. And it didn't even hurt when it.
Wow.
Yeah, you would think it would hurt, or you would feel that pain of that bruise.
Yeah.
And
That's
nothing.
crazy.
Yeah. And so I mean, in a way, even though it scared me, like it started to make me think, like, I don't think when we get these marks and when we get these bruises, I don't think it's intentional. I just think it's like a transfer of energy, kind of like when you get an electric shock, like just from the static electricity, you get the shock and it hurts, but there was no evil intent or anything behind it. It's just that transfer of energy from you to whatever metal you're touching. And so I kind of started thinking maybe that's what a lot of this is. But it's just weird.
So I'm curious, because we've both been to Waverly, what room you're talking about.
Yeah.
The safe room.
I'm so curious, because we've been to the what?
The safe room.
The safe room.
Yeah.
That's
It used to be
where we were at doing our podcast and everything.
Used to be what?
It used to be like a big safe, or like they call it the safe room, I guess, but it has like the big circle on the floor. And I think it has like a big red door. It's like on the main floor, like, where maybe they don't still have it there, but there was the big chair, like the big throne. And there was like a room right off of there. This was years ago, so I don't know how long ago you were there.
Yeah, we were there last year. We were there.
Okay, then that's probably not, the throne probably isn't there anymore. You know where you're like the main entrances in the back? And there's like
where you come in, and if you come in, you go to the left, it goes down the steps right there when you first come in the back there.
Yes, and if you go straight
Okay.
into the right, there's like a room that was this. I don't know if it was a safe or a big cooler or something, but it has like one of those big heavy locking doors.
Oh, okay. We didn't see that room.
No, because we did our podcast right in the big room.
That makes me want to go back now.
Because we did our podcast in the big room, so when we had all of our stuff there, so we went far into the building to investigate. We never investigated.
Yeah, we never
right where our
investigated
stuff
right
was.
outside there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you
I
went
missed
there,
that.
there was a lot of crazy stuff going on, so you probably didn't get the same sort of introduction to things as I did. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, there was only like 9 of us.
Yeah,
there was only 9 of us that night, and then we were talking to I can't think of his name, but he's the Waverly History Society guy, Ron. His name is Ron.
I don't know. I know Tina and Charlie and them, but I don't know any of them because they were the people that were.
Yeah,
I know
we did our,
but yeah.
Yeah, we had done our podcast from there, and then everybody went out and started investigating before us. So we were like, "Okay, that's talking. Let's go."
Yeah, we just hurry up and went out
because everybody was already out doing stuff and beating us to everything. But yeah, we didn't do nothing on that main floor. We went up and I don't know if it was just a matter of us trying to just not investigate, but explore the whole building. But we really didn't get a lot that night from there. And like you hear other people talk about how crazy the place is and stuff like that. We just never got really a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we had a good night. And I think that it just depends on things. And I did an episode on that too. It's up on my YouTube now, so people can go and watch it. But I was down in the morgue area, and I'm standing there, and it sounded like heavy footprints and somebody carrying I described it at the time as like one of those old school jail keychains with the big heavy keys on it. And I picked all that recording, and I found out I don't know, a month after we'd been there, that one of the sightings is a guy with chains walking around down there. And I was like, how crazy is that? I have no idea. Yeah. So
see, that's always crazy is when you go to these places and you get something, you're like, or you see something and you're like, okay, you don't really think about it too hard. And then later on, or you see the person that frequently goes there or owns a building and they're like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, so I did see something. It wasn't just my brain or, I just heard it something, but that's crazy. Yeah, that's weird.
It's awesome.
So, yeah. No, you're fine. Well, I guess if we would ask, my next question would be, where would you go back to investigate again? Of course, you'd been Edinburgh or Squirrel Cage. Is there some place that you haven't mentioned that you'd love to go back to again and investigate?
Oh my gosh, I would go back anywhere. But no, I was actually going to bring
I know that's kind of hard.
So we just did for my first time ever. So there's Octagon Hall, which is in Franklin, Kentucky. And I didn't, because of schedules and things, a bear who owns it offered, he's like, you can stay another night and just have the place to yourself and investigate. But unfortunately I couldn't. But for the event, they have all the few buildings outside, and there's one in particular called the Hanging Barn. And I was like, well, I mean, you can guess why they called it that. But we went out there and I didn't know anything other than that. And through evidence, I was like, we kind of came up with this, there were 3 slaves that were hiding in the barn. They got caught, they got hung in the barn. And that's kind of what started the events or whatever. And so we went back in and asked the owner if it was true. And he's like, yep, that's all true. I was like, yes. So my whole event, they got to see all that. And I'm trying to make plans right now to go back and do another event there and an investigation, because that place is awesome. It's amazing.
Someone else said
it was just funny because the girl last week's guest, Night Song Paranormal, the 4 ladies from Tennessee are like, that's their favorite place to go and investigate is Octagon Hall and stuff. They said that place is a really awesome place to investigate and stuff. So we'll have to put that on our list.
Yeah. Try to get in.
So
yeah, they have a cemetery in the back too. So it's like an old slave cemetery. And when the sun goes down, all of a sudden it's like fog, and it's so cool. Coolest thing ever.
Well, I mean, now that 2 people have said it 2 weeks in a row, so I'm gonna have to go now. It's gonna have to be the top of the list and stuff. So yeah. I know you run into a lot of skeptics, because I know we do, and people that don't believe. Is there any like I have a piece of evidence that we have from a friend of ours that originally started with the company. He's got a great picture. Shout out to Doug. He's got a great picture of an apparition in the prison. Like, there's actually a prisoner with prison stripes standing on the upper deck and stuff that he has. And people are like, well, I don't believe. And I always like, boom, here's this picture. Check this out. You know, is there some kind of piece of evidence that you have that you would show skeptics or anything like that, that you know, that's just really like hands down, you know, unexplainable. Like, they can't say, oh, that was, you know, something like that.
Yes, actually there's so I have this EVP, and I'll play it for you if you guys, I'll pull it up on my phone and play it for you if you want to hear it. But Beatty Mansion, so I'll explain it a little bit and then I'll play it for you. But we were all on a live video. There were 3 of us there. We're all on a live. So each one of us were actually filming each other. So all of us were on camera when this happened. And the line of questioning, so Beatty Mansion has this hallway that people are like, oh, there's an evil dark figure, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, someone dared me to spend the night there by myself. So I did. And the first thing I did was go confront this oh so evil thing down the hallway. And what happened was I ended up talking to a spirit by the name of Jack. Jack was some kind of a soldier. He died. He's trying to get a message across. He's trying to talk to people. And so I eventually learned that was a very real thing, that there was this soldier. His name was Jack, and he did die because that location at one point was used as an army hospital. Again, I didn't know at the time. And so when we went back, I actually was going through a real rough time. And so I was there with 2 of my friends. And at that night, I was like, you know what? I think this is my last investigation. I don't think I want to do this anymore. Like, I can't handle a lot of stuff that's been happening. And so we end up getting an EVP. Like, I'm sitting right here that says, never give up, Jack. And I was in such shock. And we were all kind of in shock because I was wearing like the Lucid headphones. So all I heard was a little noise, which is what made us go back and listen. But we caught it on every camera, every recorder. And so we were like, let's just double check and make sure it wasn't one of us talking. So we went back on all of our live feeds. We ended everything, went back, looked at all of our live feeds, and not one person's mouth was even open or moving or nothing. And it was just crazy. So I just kind of sat there bawling, and I'm like, I can't believe it. But and it's funny because I have to tell people that it's an EVP because it sounds just like someone talking. It doesn't, most of the time you're like, oh, let me hear, maybe hear. It's not like that at all. So let me pull it up here really quick. And I'll see if I can skip all of us.
Just kind of hoping you'll keep going. Never give up.
I don't know if could you hear that okay?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Wow. And it sounds just like someone's talking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's
and
not
that
like a ruffled.
Is that like a what?
It's not like ruffled. Like sometimes you hear it's like kind of like a whispering type sound or anything like that. That's like a full-fledged, clear as day, someone talking.
Wow.
You can't mistake that.
And that's completely unedited. Like there's nothing. It's not enhanced, nothing. That is just exactly how it was, and like we have the original files. And so I'm like, if anybody ever has any questions, I'm like, here you go. Take a look at it. Take a look at all the lives that we were doing. Like it's just the craziest thing ever. And so we went back there to film. But this is the weird thing too about this Jack, whoever he is, at any location I'm at now, it's almost like he's just with me all the time. If nothing's happening, I can be like, hey, Jack, are you here? And everything starts happening. It is just the most incredible thing I've ever witnessed, I think, in paranormal at all.
Apparently, you got Jack attached.
Yeah.
I think Jack's attached to you there.
It seems like
Because
a
Lauren have
guy.
a comics. I know she just came from Beatty.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I haven't,
Yeah, she was just at Beatty like 2 weeks ago. You
not
look at the top.
recently, no.
Oh, okay.
Let me go through it. I can start going.
Yeah, just hit them
Now.
real quick.
We'll
through a couple.
go through them real quick. Lauren said, way to start off with a bang, Velisca.
Intense
Intense
place.
place for your first investigation. Yeah, I was about to say, like, when you first said that, I was like, man, she started off really good.
You didn't start off small there, did you?
No.
Well, I mean, the house is small, so
It's Maddie. Yeah. Hello,
It's Maddie's
hello.
Who's Maddie?
Big Red.
Oh, that's her? Oh, I didn't know. What's up, Big Red?
No, her parents.
Oh, Maddie's peeps. Oh, okay. What's up, Big Red's parents?
April said
hello,
hello.
April. It's my friend Lisa there, and my sister John too.
Lisa Campbell.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Lisa.
This is Big Red's dad. Y'all need to go to Galveston, Texas. With so many people.
I've
ask
been
that.
to Galveston.
1900 hurricane.
Yes, I know.
Is it a pretty cool place?
I love Galveston. Actually, it's
Did you-
an awesome little place for sure.
She said, I've researched Houston and Galveston, Texas. Good to know. It's on my 2024 list.
But Texas has a lot of good places. Hotel is a great
Yeah.
place down there.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you weren't on
this
this.
week's.
We just told her last night. I just saw her last night.
I don't know. Keith said hello.
She said hello.
That's my Keith. That's my partner in crime right there. My brother.
That's an awesome place. Not all dark looking things are dark. Yes. Susan, hotel, Galveston, Walmart.
Built on the site of an orphanage that was lost
Yep.
in the 1900 hurricane.
Maddie was talking to me about that, and I
Yeah.
was like, my eyes were just.
Walmart's they're just strange as it is. You don't even have to build them on something spooky. There's enough crazy people walking around Walmart.
Walmart's haunted in itself.
Yeah.
Not paranormal, maybe, but.
Who needs a Ouija board when you have Walmart shoppers?
Yeah, there you go.
Lauren said, I'm pretty sure we get the name Jack on one of our devices while we were there. I haven't reviewed yet, but when you said that, it sounded familiar.
If you did, please let me know. That would just be awesome.
Yeah.
Lisa says hello.
Hello.
Hello. Lisa's another awesome.
And that is all caught up.
Yes, thank you for your followers to
Thank
come
you.
watch. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
So we're talking about that. I was going
Yeah.
to say something else about Beatty. I can't remember now what I was going to say.
I remember the last time we were there, it was so cold. We just stayed in that one heated room the whole time. We let our guests go and explore, and we just sat in the
Yeah, we were in there in
room.
March, and it was kind of cold.
freezing, just a little bit.
Okay, so we'll ask you the infamous question. I mean, you do pretty much a lot. So, what is your bucket list place in the U.S. and and then outside the U.S.?
So definitely, I have two in the U.S. Pennhurst and Alcatraz. Definitely my
Another
top.
one. So we have a game. Why do we have a game? We tell everybody. We always ask that question. That's like the main question. And then like she has one, and then my son has one, and then I have one. And then for the longest time,
We were just trying to.
theirs were always getting picked and stuff, and nobody. Mine is Alcatraz. I'm like, I want to.
So
and like
what is
the
what
last
is yours?
6 weeks, like the last 6 podcasts, everybody's kind of been picking Alcatraz. It was like
Yeah,
I'm tallying's getting back up there.
mine. I would have to say I would want to go to it's either Queen Mary or Roosevelt Hotel in California. They're both in California, but I'd have to say those are my two main in the U.S. No one said them, but
I like Alcatraz. Pennhurst would be nice. I would
Yeah.
like to go Pennhurst, but I also would like to do the Winchester House too.
Oh, Winchester would be awesome. I want to do the Cecil, but they won't let me in. So I went to their front door and they're like, "No, it's government housing.
I
Get
think I think.
Really? Is it all government housing now?
Yep. I think as a true crime junkie, I would kind of like to go to Cecil as well, just because with Lisa, the girl who disappeared, they found her body on top of the roof. I think as a true crime junkie,
I don't know.
As a true crime junkie, I would love to go to that place.
I watched that whole documentary, like was on Netflix and stuff. I still don't know. I don't know if she climbed up in there or not, or it's just weird. But I do have to say, she looks at something when she's on the elevator. When she's on the elevator, she looks at something.
Yeah.
And to me, that makes it,
She was hiding from something too.
Yeah.
Well, they
and
were
then out of the US.
Did you watch the documentary on her and the hotel where they were talking about how she had some like mental illnesses and like wasn't taking her medication and things? So that's why I think some people wonder if she was just, because I think her mental illness was like not schizophrenia, but something along those lines. So
yeah, it was something to cause hallucinations and something.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's still a mystery. It's one of those mysteries that no one's ever really going to know. And
I think if I could solve any, that would be the one.
Not the black medallion.
Oh, you know the doctor did that. Black Dahlia. We all kind of know who did it.
That story, the person who did it actually admitted to it not that long ago.
Oh, really?
Really?
It was that doctor or whatever, because his daughter, I don't know if it's on Discovery Plus, but that's where I watched it, was on Discovery Plus, and the daughter was talking about it and came forward, and eventually I think he came forward at some point in time and admitted that he actually did it.
Yeah, he had, like, they literally sniffed his place and found human remains, and then that was like the last known place that she was at. Like, even just putting that two together, you're like, okay, like.
That's my true crime junkie right over here.
Love it. So we all kind of know how it's solved. So I would love to do the Elisa Lam. I think that would be the first. I think that'd be the one I would always want to. But what's your bucket list for out of the U.S.?
And I know it'll never happen. There's actually two there too. Pavalia Island is one. Actually there's more. Pavalia Island, but I also, and people are probably going to hate me for saying this, but I want to go to Auschwitz. I just feel like
no one has ever said
that's
out
my
of the
other
country.
one. That's my one out of the U.S. I want to go to Germany. I would love, hands down, to investigate that place. Just
to feel that
energy, and I think that would be I think the energy and the activity there is just probably kind of not like happy, but I mean, it's going to be very somber and very sad because what happened was such a tragedy and stuff. But yeah, we get it. Look at that. Or two, we should just get tickets and just go, Chrissy.
Right?
That's our we're there,
The other place I want to go to, and I don't necessarily know that it would be paranormal, but is Chernobyl, and you can go to Chernobyl. However, I'm not in good enough shape yet, so I have to get there because you have to like hike in, and it's like a 3-day hike. So
holy crap!
Yeah,
I don't know about that. I've seen too many weird movies about that place.
That is one of the places which I've said I've wanted to go to Japan, and that was just one of the places while I'm out of the country.
Chernobyl.
Yeah,
that's a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean Auschwitz is paranormal either. I mean, you know what I'm saying, but it's
to put yourself in that position, like put yourself in their energy, in their shoes as much as close as you can. You have to go there, and I think that's just one of the most. It really humbles you as a human too. Like,
I wonder if it would be like we went to the OKC, the Oklahoma bombing site, which is really cool if you've ever been there. It's just
peaceful.
It's very peaceful. They have chairs for everybody that passed away. They have chairs on these lawns and stuff for their names and stuff instead of crosses. And I'm like, I wasn't in the paranormal. She played softball. Yeah. And we had a tournament there and stuff. We went there, and they still actually have like the cage, like the fence up that they had when it happened and stuff. But now that I'm paranormal, I do paranormal stuff. I'm like, I always wonder what it's like to go back and just kind of take a phasma box or a necrophonics or something just to see if, what people say or, just to communicate with them. I mean, just even REM pods setting them up everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like, I don't know. I would say disrespectful in a way. I don't even know if that's disrespectful or if that's just, curious to do
I
that.
feel like it's like how you communicate is, and it's like that when you're alive too. Like why, are you being disrespectful in your questioning and your behavior and stuff? I feel like that's always what comes into play, and even like saying, and I even worry about that sometimes talking about Auschwitz, because like what most people think when I say that, but if you ask me why I want to go, it's because I believe so much in repairing like the deep human connection. And so I think if you go to these places and you can connect with that energy and whatever, like it changes you, I think, in a way to be more empathetic and more caring and more understanding. And that's why Auschwitz is such a big one for me, because I can't even, it's about connecting with and trying to understand on whatever level you can of what these people went through, and remembering, how strong we are as people, and, who won in the end and all those things. It's such a good way to put yourself and your soul in a better place personally. So
yeah. And I think too with that is like how you talk, like people who were at Auschwitz or any concentration camp, when they would go to the schools and talk about it, and you've heard people say it kind of gives them peace, or it helps them through and talking about it, and just kind of, and the most, it's so hard to explain, but I feel like people on the other side, and more of the paranormal aspect of it, they don't get to talk about it a lot, and and I think maybe it will help them, or you never know. And yeah, not a lot of people talk to them. I feel like when they go to the camp or anything, they don't talk to them. So
probably not.
Maybe they want to talk to people. Maybe they want to tell their story. And
it'd be really interesting to see.
Yeah, like kind of like I just see it kind of like as, I feel like a lot of them probably felt like they were forgotten in life, and I don't want to forget them in death, kind of thing.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. So, with that saying on that, so what is your favorite piece of equipment that you like to investigate with?
My recorder.
Your recorder?
My EVPs are the best. I have so many amazing ones. But the reason for that is it's like two pieces of evidence every time, because not only can you hear it, but you can put it in your computer and you can see it. You can see the sound waves. You can see that it's actually there. I've been working with a couple people, Ron Iacovetti, and his, I don't know if they're married, but they're definitely together. His significant other, Lourdes, they do something called Staticom, and they brought me kind of in on that. But it basically takes like white noise, and it's not even radio anymore. So they've just basically removed any radio frequencies, and they generate white noise in real time. And then they go, they run it real time through a program that slows it down and removes a lot of that background noise. And what you're left with is just voices talking. It's the most incredible thing that I've seen in a long time when it comes to the paranormal. I was actually in their documentaries, their sound expert. They shoot a little high on that one, but it's incredible. Like, I encourage everybody to go check out what they're doing, because it'll blow your mind. Like, it just blows your mind. It's almost like picking up a telephone. It's insane.
Yeah,
that is crazy.
I know. I feel like because we are always like trying to like learn, like get the new equipment or try out our new equipment. It's like, I mean, I've caught one of my best pieces of evidence on a recorder, and we just forget about, we just forget about them.
We don't set it. I mean, most people just like turn one on and just carry it with them, and just, at least timestamp when people are talking a lot, like a lot of people are talking.
Yeah.
So that way, you're not hearing something, over that, at that moment in time. I guess we need to start doing that.
I need to start going back into the dark rooms and just sitting there with the recorder. Like, it's like you forget about like the little things that you used to do. Or
so, if there was a piece of equipment that you could get in the future, or what would that be?
I think it would just be the coolest thing ever to like just pick up a telephone and like call grandma on the other side. You know, and like how cool
that would put us out of business. That would put us out of business.
I mean, that's
if
like
we
that's
could do that, then there would be. Well, I mean, we are aiming for that, but I mean, you know, I mean, like I always tell people, if I could have a ghost come down and sit next to me and have an interview, my job would be over.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have answered all my questions, you know, so and stuff. But yeah, if that would be that easy, just to pick up a phone call to talk to someone would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine all the people who would have to go, oh, it is real. That'd be the best part.
Oh yeah. The skeptics just like picking up the phone and then they're like, what's going on? Like that would be
This is your grandma. I've been
just
here
to
the whole
see their
time.
face.
It's real.
They're like, all right, how you guys doing this?
Yeah.
Grandma right there is not real. I love that lady.
So you said Charlie was on with Jack Osborne, so I'm guessing that you were there too. So
I was not actually.
Working?
I was actually
really?
not. Yeah, it had a lot to do with COVID. I was not there on set. However, I did talk to Jack in August. I did actually August and October. I saw him. Now that I'm thinking about it, and I just come around the corner because we're at a convention, and I've got Charlie, and he's like, "That's real creepy. I remember that doll." I'm not even gonna try to do it. I'll fail at it.
He's like getting flashbacks.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Heather, however, just loves Charlie. I have pictures with Heather. I might have sent you a couple of those. But Heather just loves her. She's always like, "Where's Charlie?" I'm like, "Not here." So.
Yes, if everybody knows, she's in Florida right now. She's one of those lovelies that go to the Florida in the wintertime. She spends her time in Florida in the winter.
I wish I was.
You're spoiled. Like I said, like,
I wish I was spending my time in Florida right now.
So now, when you go to Florida, now do you hold events or do you go to locations down there? Do you try to find?
So I'm starting to kind of work on it. I'm now working. So I kind of take a seasonal job waiting tables here. There's like this great little restaurant that has picked me up for seasonal, but it's also like haunted. Which is cool. And the whole little town is, and they have like paranormal tours and stuff. There's not a whole lot of them from what I understand. So I'm working with them to try to let me do some of that. Florida is, it's a tough one to work with because it is already so much like touristy and things like that, which is great for business for me as far as events and things. However, because they have so much tourism and things and they're making so much money, it's really difficult to kind of, try something new or get in there something new. And basically they don't need the money. So why do they care? And that sounds harsh, and it isn't. I'm saying it harsher than it actually is, I guess. So, but the connections and things, they're coming. It just takes some time. And that's part of why I live on the road, is because I have to spend a lot of time in a lot of places and build those connections and friendships and, finding locations and things like that. There's a lot of work that goes into it, like a lot. But I care about it. So I want it to be done correctly, so that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Now, in what area do you stay when you up and during the summertime?
Well, I'm just south of Orlando. So, it's a nice little area. We have the yard lit up because a friend of mine, she moved down. She actually was my boss a few years ago. And she moved to Florida and was like, "I want you to come down here." And she's so sweet. They put this little tiny home in their backyard. And they're like, "You can just stay there whenever you want." But now they have the whole yard lit up all night long because there are bears. So like if I have to go in the house, we have to watch for bear. We had 3 baby cubs walk up on the porch just 2 nights ago. And I have videos of that. The video. They're so cute. Yeah, they have bears and monkeys. Okay. I'm just saying, it's awesome.
Wait, bears and
So we got alligators. We got alligators, bears, and monkeys.
Yes.
That's Florida. They're crazy.
They're starting to become the new Australia of the U.S. is what they're becoming.
Now, you say you travel like doing all this stuff and everything, so that's pretty much your home base is Florida then?
Well, my home base is actually Omaha because all my kids live there. But
okay.
It was, during COVID, right before COVID, I kicked all my kids out. I'm like, I'm done raising you, get out. And I sold my house, and I was staying in Kansas City in an apartment. And during the lockdowns, I'm just kind of looking around like, I don't understand why I'm living this way. I've never wanted to live this way. So I sold everything that I owned to live van life and travel the country and do events and explore and urban exploration and all of that. And I had a van originally, and now I got rid of it because I never actually use it. Because people were like, well, just come stay here. Like, even my friend here, I'm like, I'm going to be here for almost 4 months. And I'm like, I'm going to leave. And she's going to be like, thank God she's gone. But every time she writes me like 2 days later, come back. I'm like, so it happens everywhere. I have
That's a good thing then. I mean, you just get in the van and go to all these locations, and people are like, come stay with us, You're like, okay, can I investigate?
Yeah, I have made some crazy stuff. My friend Allison, actually, she lives in New Mexico, and me and another friend, and they're not even paranormal people. This other friend of mine, Christopher, who actually, he just moved to Florida. But we went on a big trip, and he's into like crystals and stuff. And so he likes mining, and he's like, let's go mining. So we find this little town in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico. There is like population literally 1 now. And we go there to go mining and whatever. And the lady who owned the shop, Allison, just started talking to me and telling me about paranormal stuff. And Christopher's like, do you know her? I'm like, I've never met her before. So I'm now friends with her. I've gone to stay with her a couple times. And then she's like, oh, by the way, I have ancient Mayan temple ruins on my property if you ever want to investigate it. I'm like, what? Awesome. Let's do it. So
she just kind of slid that into a conversation.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Okay.
She did
No
after
problem.
like a year of knowing her. I was like, sweet.
You're like, and you knew I was a paranormal investigator, and you didn't start off with that?
Exactly. One of my friends, he said to me one day, he said, everybody has that one friend who just does the most randomly crazy things out of nowhere, and you don't even know why. And he's like, that's you. And I'm like, true. They let me investigate in Gettysburg. Actually, this friend came with me, and we did a live feed from it. The Airage Inn there, there's floorboards underneath the stairs in one spot and you go in there under the building, and it was part of the Underground Railroad. They let me go down there and do a live investigation. Like, nobody ever gets to do that. They also let me go out on the fields at night, which is never allowed. But they gave me 3 days to go out there and investigate. So I'm just like,
that had to
let's
be
do
pretty
this.
cool.
It was
I have
amazing.
to ask, what did you see out there on the field at nighttime?
There was a lot of really weird stuff. I think the weirdest thing, and a couple of my friends are now convinced that this was like a Sasquatch, but I don't know. Because we were kind of in the car at one point because it had just kind of rained. And so we're just driving because it's big, so you can't just get out and walk it and stay out. So you drive every now and then. But we would go really slow, and we came up on like this hill, and we're just kind of stopped in one spot because I was terrified of bears as it was already. But like, it sounded like a whole bunch of people were running through the trees, and I'm like waiting for an animal to come out, and nothing came out, and there was no wind, nothing's moving. I'm still trying to find that video. I just haven't had time to get out and look for it. But we were just like waiting for animals, or I'm like, oh, here comes the bear, and nothing came out. And we were just all kind of dumbfounded. You could hear gunshots, like tons of gunshots sometimes. And I think at one point we were just standing there, and the next thing you know, this fog just came from all around and just like totally enclosed. It's just the eeriest thing. I called it a chaotic calm, and that's the only way I know how to describe it.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy to hear.
I think that's
It's
one of
like
the
all
places
the
I'd love to
ghosts,
go
like
to.
guys running through the woods, like they're retreating or attacking or
Yeah.
something. And you're like, okay, here it comes. And then nothing. They're like, what the hell? What's coming out?
Yeah,
That was a cool.
that'd be a cool place.
I mean, I know I've seen a lot of people get like they've captured apparitions there and stuff with soldiers, you know, like just walking in the field or
Or
injured
they see
ones or
people
something like
walking in
that.
the field. They're like,
Yeah.
"Who's out there?" And
So
they're
they
like,
don't let you.
"No one's
They
out
don't
there."
let anybody investigate at nighttime.
No, because it is a national park, and
See, she likes to go to all the national parks.
it has well, that's it's because I spend so much time actually in national parks a lot. Actually, I'm always there, whether I'm camping or exploring or whatever. But a lot of these places are protected too, in the national parks. But the the only reason that they allowed it, honestly, is because it was like right after COVID lockdowns that I ended up there. And so there was like nobody there. And to this day, people are like, they don't allow anybody, blah, blah, blah. You were doing illegal things. And I'm like, no, they actually let me go. But I finally just quit arguing with people. And I'm like, you're right, whatever. So,
You know, in a way, that's kind of like us, because we have a place here around us called Zombie Trail, or Zombie Road, or whatever. And it's a park.
It goes up to a park.
It goes into a park.
Yeah.
So after 6 o'clock, no one's allowed to be on there. And we got permission to be there till up to like 10 o'clock at nighttime. And people were like, "How'd you get in there?" That's a park. You're supposed to be out at 6:30.
They'll give you a ticket.
Yeah, they're gonna give you a ticket. How'd you get in there? You know, they make it sound like all you had to do was ask.
Like, we just asked.
Just had to ask. You know, you
It doesn't.
you don't know until you ask.
Yeah.
All they're gonna say is no.
yep. A very good friend of mine wrote a book called The Power of Asking, and he's a very wealthy real estate man. And I'm like, it's got a lot of good advice in it. So it's all about.
All they're gonna tell you is no, you can't do that. Yeah.
And then you're like, okay.
Thank you, and move on. Yep.
I've seen enough weird things at that park during the day that I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like
that,
place.
right?
Yeah, it's right on the river. It runs along the river, and back in the day, it used to be like where the boats would stop, and it was like a port type area, and the Indians used it, and then a lot of the people used it as a loading and unloading to the river and stuff, and then there was a serial killer there.
If that was like I would say like the main story that like it's like I was gonna say urban legend, like that there was a patient from the asylum who had escaped, and they had caught him on that road, and his nickname was Zombie, and they found his clothes in the park or something.
Plus, it's pretty creepy though.
It's creepy, yeah.
I mean, it's not like tucked away anywhere. It's like in the middle of a residential area.
Oh yeah,
and stuff. So it's like, wow, this place is haunted. And then, when you're at nighttime, it's pretty because you got nothing but woods like on both sides of you and stuff. And then they have like an old railroad tracks and stuff in there and bridges, and it's kind of it's a creepy place. We got some good evidence there and stuff.
I'm like, once I come back, I'm gonna have to go check that place out now.
Yeah,
but
let us know if you're coming in.
Yeah,
let us know. We'll love to go. We can try to get you in. We can try to do it. I mean, we've asked before.
Yeah.
So
Charlie, when you go in
there we go.
When you go into the park, like I walked around the park, they have these and they have the trail, but then up ahead, like if you look up, you can see like the ledges, like because there's certain trails where you can veer off and go up the hill and go on top of the ledge or anything like that, and you can kind of look up and see. And I don't know how many times people always say, like, I always see people like peek over the ledge, or they're up there and they're standing up there, and you're like, what is that person doing on the ledge? And you walk up the hill and no one's up there. There's one way to get down and one way to go up. And
that's awesome.
Arthur and Charlie can hang out.
Yeah.
There you go. Bring them along. My friend, I have my friend Kyle's doll too. My friend Kyle got this doll. I think his name is Thomas. He got him from the Booth Brothers.
Christopher,
yeah, and for some reason Kyle's just like, here, take him with you. So he's chilling with Charlie right now. They need to go on an excursion.
Is he the one with the top hat?
Mm-hmm.
The top hat and the mount. Yeah. We saw them we met them at Silicon in Effingham at a convention.
Yeah.
The Booth brothers, they were there, and they had.
Christopher smells really good, and I would just walk by and he'd be like, "Smell me." He said, "What did he say? Something like $140 cologne. It better get some comments."
Yeah, they signed. We have another banner with our name. They signed our banner. I actually bought a really cool book from them that wraps up. It's a leather bind book. It wraps and it locks and has like the TG tied pages and stuff. And so they have some really cool stuff.
Yeah, they're cool.
And so I
just think they're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun.
They are.
They are. They are. We enjoyed meeting them and hanging out with them over at the Paracon and stuff. I know you said you're an oddity kind of girl and you collect. I got to ask. I'm starting to wanting to collect weird stuff. It's been always, people call me weird anyway. I mean, I wear weird hats. I wear kilt.
I call him weird, but I get to because I'm his daughter. So.
What do you think in your collection is your most oddest thing?
My kids still again. No, God,
That is your collection. I mean, come on. I mean, you had them, so
Okay, you ready for this one? You're not going to believe this one. So I have one of my home bases is actually in New Orleans, and so last time I was down there, they gave me a bunch of stuff. Well, they gave me I have a Marie Laveau voodoo doll, which is awesome. But to go along with that, my friend gave me 10,000-year-old petrified human poop.
Human poop.
Yep. It's probably the weirdest thing ever.
That's cool.
And his wife,
that's weird.
His wife said, I've been trying to get him to get rid of that forever. And he must really like you because he would never give that away for anything. So it is now in my possession.
Oh my God,
you're like, thank
great.
you.
That was probably his pride possession sitting up on the shelf.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's freaking hilarious. Mm-hmm.
That would be odd.
That's odd.
I would have never went down that road to think that way. I was thinking you're gonna say teeth or something like that, but not poop.
Oh.
That's
you asked
cool.
Weirdest thing. That is my weirdest thing ever. Not only that, but
that is.
So
I think that's
I think
that's the weirder part. It's just it was a gift.
I would take that to conventions for people to ask me about what is that. Oh, that's petrified poop.
That's what I need to do. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you could take that on tour. Charlie and the poop.
It's Charlie's poop.
That's what it says. Charlie's poop. That's great.
Yeah, he's been trying to collect some oddities.
This guy had this doll that was in this case. They had a little door, and he wanted $300 for the doll, and it was a 1965 doll. It used to be called Doll with No Name or something like that. No Name dolls. They were back in the 60s, and they had really big eyes, and they wore these tattered clothes, and they had a teardrop on their cheek and stuff. And he said that that this lady brought this doll to him, and he was a toy vendor, and he said that this lady brought this doll to him and said, you could have this doll because it won't stay on the shelf and it keeps moving. And I'm like, why can't someone just call me and say, hey, I got this doll, will you come pick it up? I
don't know where you're putting it because you're not putting
and
it
he's
here.
someone made him the case, which is pretty interesting case. I don't know if someone really made it or he bought it, but it was crammed in this case and stuff. He's like, yeah, I'll sell it to you for $300. I was like, okay. And I was like, all right. And I looked up the doll on eBay is worth $245 just alone and stuff. So yeah, they went from $245 to $500. They were called No Name dolls or something like that. So somebody in the chat that's older might not know, but yeah, it was. I'm like, can I play with it? Can I hold it? He's like, well, I'm like, I want to know why it's haunted. What's other than the lady giving it to you? Have you, experimented with it? Have you put a K2 meter, cat ball? Have you tried? No, it's haunted. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
I don't like dolls, let alone haunted dolls. I'm good.
hey,
I like anything weird.
Even
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I love, I was like, man, I want that doll so
I
bad.
know. Yeah, I remember the first day you handed me Arthur, and I was like,
I found him
I was like, what
at
are you
an
doing?
antique store. His jaw was hanging down because his jaw don't work very well.
Yeah, the
rubber band broke in the back. And I picked him up and I walked right up to the guy and I was like, how much is he? He's like, $50. I was like, sold. I don't care if he's haunted or not.
No.
That's funny.
I just don't like dolls.
I mean,
well, now I know what to get you for
God knows what you're getting. A doll.
I know, right?
Right.
I know why it's for 300. You can get her.
There is a town. There's a town here in Florida called Casadega, Florida, and it's like the town of psychics. And again, my weird life. I went down there and they have like this little museum, which they allowed me to investigate. They never let anybody investigate it, which is awesome. But they had a doll in there with like the green eyes that I think supposedly made out of uranium or radium or whatever, the glow in the dark. Which I figured out later on. I think that it's all false information, like not on the museum owners, but where they got it from. Because I found one myself brand new and they were made in like the 60s, I think. So I take her everywhere, but it's amazing to me how many people actually like tell me her story and how she's haunted. And I'm like, I bought her new in the box. But whatever.
Like,
it's funny.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, he's a toy guy, and not my big thing to that was, did someone just give him that toy and he's trying to sell that doll for, because on eBay they're worth, let's say between $245 and $5. Is he just trying to sell the doll for
he's
what
like,
it's
I'm
worth?
going to a haunted, I'm going to like it's like, I'm just going to make this the most money again.
Yeah, I'm going to an oddity, so I'm just going to say, yeah, it's haunted. We'll put it in this case and say it's haunted. That's like,
well,
before I bought it, I would want to.
You have to be careful with that because, so I named this doll with the green eyes, I named her Azarina, which Azarina is, there's a whole Italian ghost story that goes along with it. I did like a thing and that's what somebody told me and they gave me the story. I'm like, it's perfect. So I named her Azarina. Well, within a couple of months, people were selling the real haunted Azarina doll. Like, who the hell has a doll named Azarina, right? So, and it's the same doll. They're selling her online for like $2,000 or $3,000. So I took screenshots and blasted it all over the place. Like, this is a scam.
It is. We have a haunted doll, and like we do sell them. But we sell them for like $50. I'm like, why do these people start charging $100, $200, $300 for a haunted doll when it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And the reason I say we're haunted is I give them to our psychics that we work with, and I don't say nothing. I just give them to them and say, hey, do they have a story? And we had one at Susie, the doll Susie that has a half head. Mm-hmm. We were at a haunted location and we had her sitting up on a luggage. And then when we were downstairs investigating, we came back, she was laying on the floor and her head was all cracked open and she lost her hand because she was a porcelain doll. And I was going to pick her up and throw her away because I thought she was broken.
Yeah.
And they were like, no. So we kind of put her back in her box and I gave her to our friend Heidi, who's, we were at a Mystic Fair. Shout out to Kansas City Mystic Metaphysical Fairs. But we work with them too. So I gave her the box and she told me exactly what happened. And I didn't tell her nothing. Like she said, she's like, a little girl was playing with her and her twin spirit brother was jealous and he swung them around and dropped her. And she goes, where did you find her at? Like, I'm like, she was on the floor. And she's like, yeah, the little girl's attached to her and she's very upset with her. And she's very, timid and shy. So her head started coming off because people were picking her up and her head would fall off. So I had to kind of like hot glue her head a little bit on her. Yeah. I left her kind of cracked still, but, people would pick her up. And then, like, I'm sorry. I should have said, you ought it. You broke it.
That'll be $5,000. Thank you.
Yeah, 5,000. We take credit cards.
Yeah.
So, do you want to hit any comments or any questions before?
Yeah, I'll kind of go. I think. Lauren said it was freezing. I think I'm guessing she's talking about baiting when we were talking to. I never investigated in Fando pants and a blanket, but I did a baiting mansion. Yeah. Lauren said, I don't know what. There you go. I stayed in Cecil for 2 nights back in 2011. Nothing exciting happened. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like even if there was nothing, just being like, just
being able to say you got to stay there for 2 nights is awesome.
Yeah.
Other than communal bathrooms, that was weird.
Which is weird because she was also, that was what they used to do. They used to just share communal bathrooms and communal, there's like 4 people to a room. Moon Girl, Mistress of the Paranormal said hello.
Love that girl.
Jessie,
there's
hello,
Jess.
hello.
Hey, Jess.
There's my Tim.
Tim said hello. Let's see. Keith said, yep, at Scarefest.
That's when we talked to Jack last.
Yeah.
Oh, is that Scarefest? Is that the one in Kentucky?
Yes, and well, Keith and I, this is the second year. I think he's gone maybe a time or two before me, but this was the second year that I went with them, and it's so much fun. Every year I pretty much end up hanging out with Tango and Steve and closing the bar down. We had a great time. I think Steve and Tango joined in the Epic Woo. I have videos of that, which is awesome. Keith introduced me to, you remember Ernest P. Whirl? So Billy Crank is, I think he's some kind of a cousin or something to Ernest. And he's been friends with Keith forever. And he looks just like Ernest. And he's just amazing. Like, you have to look him up because you're like, holy crap, you can't even tell the difference. So that's one time a year we get to hang out with him, and it's just always a good time. I always go with the Spirit Mechanics, and Keith is a part of them. So I think Renee is down here, part of them too.
Yeah, I've tried to get in there. The convention, I tried to get in there the last 2 years, and I haven't been. They've never responded back to me.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough to get in there. I was talking to, God, I can't remember his name. I know it's Wes, and then one other guy that runs it. I can't remember his name. If Keith's still on, he'll know his name. But he was telling me that they like have to vet everybody now, because like not this last year, but the year before, like you would walk in and all you saw were like tumblers and T-shirts. That's it. So they basically, with so many people going through, they're trying to get like new and different things and stuff like that. Yeah. So we did miss some of the people from the previous year that weren't there this time, but it's good business. You got to like switch it up. And they had, God, I can't remember how many celebrities they had, but most celebrities, they had to expand the floor. That place is wild. I mean, it's just, I'm very fortunate that Keith brings me along every year. So yeah,
Tim, Chris, it sounds like Krista gets to do all the fun stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. Like that's what I try to tell people when I try to get in these conventions. They think, "Oh, paranormal group," but we sell like voodoo dolls, haunted dolls, scrying mirrors, REM. You know what I'm saying? We sell all kinds of odd things, and I make backpacks of like bear backpacks with skull faces, and teddy bears with skull faces and stuff like that. Just just the weird oddity type weird stuff. So, we're not just, I tried to tell people that when we were trying to get into vendors, like the big ones and stuff, especially like the oddity and curiosity conventions that are going, that thing is taken off since COVID, that big convention that's, they've gotten so big now it's 2 days. Last year, the last couple of years, it's just been like 1 day. Now it's 2 days in each town and stuff. So,
yeah. Scarefest goes on for 3.
Yeah, that whole weekend.
Yeah. And his name is Brandon. Thank you, Renee. Yeah. Well, it's just crazy because I even have videos of, like we had badges and stuff. So we just, VIP, we go and we do whatever. And, but you look at all the people, I'm just like, thank God I don't have to wait in line, because the line wrapped around this convention center twice, and it's huge. I mean, it takes up at least a city block. And so the line to get in was like wrapped around the building and still kept going. I mean, that line had to have been a couple miles long just to get in. It's insane. I think I heard that the building maxes out at like 20,000 people. For those of you who were there with me, if I'm wrong, please say so. But I think it maxes out like 20 or 30,000 people, something like that. And they hit max people twice in one day, just in one of the days. It's yeah, it is a fantastic event.
That sounds like the Kimswick Apple Butter Festival.
I've never heard of that one.
I know, but there's like 20.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a Kimswick here in St. Louis, or in Missouri here. There's a town called Kimswick, and they have a huge October festival called Apple Butter, and it's like 20,000 something people come through this town just for this event in 2 days. Yeah. If Kitty's on here, Kitty can tell me how many people. He lives in Kimswick. We did
That's our hookup in Kimswick.
Yeah, that's our hookup in Kimswick, which is a very haunted town. We did a witches night out there, and we were the first paranormal team that actually got to be in the witches night out. And these witches bought everything I had and stuff in a matter of like 5 hours. I was like just amazed, of what we sold. Drunk witches buy a lot.
Drunk witches buy everything.
Yeah. And
Keith said, Plank says, hey.
Plank says, hey.
Yeah, you should have put a picture of Plank up there. You are one friend. Yep, someone that does all the weird, crazy stuff.
Yes.
Hey, everybody's got to have one.
If you don't ask,
you don't know. Yep.
There's my little sister right there.
Hello,
Megan.
And her cat, that's as big as she is.
Keith Osterberg and Ray Kyle.
Oh, she was tagging him for the name, that's Brandon was his name. That's who I was trying to think of, the other guy that runs Scarefest. I talk to Wes all the time, but I think this was the first time I actually met Brandon. Wes is definitely more like, hey, everybody. And Brandon's a bit more quieter, so.
Yeah.
Well, keep us in mind for next year. No, I'm just joking. I try. I try every year.
I'm just gonna say, like, Keith and Renee. I think there's the only two in there that were at Scarefest, but because they're part of Spirit Mechanics, and that's Amy Allen's team. So when Amy Allen, she can't, because of contract reasons, she cannot go help the clients after the show. So she has a team, which is them, that she basically hires them to go and help the families and stuff after the show to make sure that they're still getting care, which is amazing after the show and things. I'm just lucky enough. So I call myself Amy Allen's team's side bitch. And so they drag me everywhere, probably because I get drunk and do things, but whatever, it's a good time. So
you're like, hey, I'm there somehow, so I'm just gonna keep doing it.
I'm like, I don't know why y'all want me around, but
so is there anything that you would like to talk that's upcoming that you're doing or that you can say?
Well, I have a lot of, I'm putting together a whole lot of events right now. I'll be doing Octagon Hall again. Tim was on here. I don't know if he still is. But T-Dog, if anybody doesn't know who T-Dog is, he's part of Riverbend Paranormal, which is Brian and Rochelle's team. And so he does this like fear challenge where he like puts and I help him with it when I'm there, but he'll chain himself up in a dark room and he'll cover his face, just to kind of make himself vulnerable to spirits to get evidence. He calls it his fear challenge. It's quite interesting. He's gotten some good results with it. Which I think it's definitely different and new. So I appreciate what he does, and he's a great person. So we've kind of teamed up to do events. So we'll be doing Octagon Hall, the Squirrel Cage Jail, and the Rails West Museum. We're also going to be doing Simpson County Jail, which I finally locked down dates for that today. I think Fort Duffield right now I'm working on that one. But Fort Duffield, because it's outside, will be a camping event. And not only is it like, we'll have like a bonfire and we're going to do some Sasquatching. It sounds like we might be able to get Squatch Guy involved with that. Something just moved on the floor. That was weird. But I think we're going to be able to get Squatch Guy in there with us too, it sounds like. So there's a lot of stuff in the works. I do paranormal, like candlelight tours. Those are coming up. So if you just watch my page, they're going to start popping up here pretty soon. All the events that are coming up. It looks like some new locations maybe too. So lots of stuff.
All right. So now you said your page. So where can everybody find you at?
You can just follow me on Facebook right now. I can't accept any more friend requests, but if you want to follow me, I'll still interact. I still talk to people. You can message me. I as long as you're not some weirdo, I will always message you back. But just follow me on my regular Facebook page. And that's where pretty much everything is. My Eventbrite page always has all the events, and I think it just automatically sends out emails every time I put up a new event. So that's very helpful. But yeah, that's about it.
Anything else?
No, I think.
Oh, there's Kyle. Kyle is
Kyle.
Thomas. He's the one who has Thomas. So that's Kyle. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Megan said it's a visible Sasquatch in your room.
It's the invisible.
It's literally something on the floor, and I'm like, I don't.
It's Jack.
I don't know. It's always funny when it's happening in the live feed.
Oh yeah.
No,
we had Night Song on last week, and the lady's like, I have ghosts in my house, and she kept she's her camera would go in and zoom back out and stuff, and I'm like, she's like, I don't know why this is doing this. I'm like, well,
she's like, this is my husband's computer.
Yeah, she's like, there's something on the other side playing with the camera or something.
So weird.
And but we do appreciate you coming on and talking to us. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
I would love to come investigate with you.
Absolutely. Well,
yes.
When I get back to the Midwest, I say let's take a trip to Zombie Road.
I'm down. Yes, I'm very much down for that.
Yes.
I'll set it up. You give me a time you're going to be in, and I'll set it up.
Yeah.
And get permission for us to be there for a while, not just till 10.
Awesome. Yeah, I come back. I head back March. I have an event the weekend of March 8th and 9th, and then so maybe sometime after that. I'll definitely message you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How exciting!
Love to do that. Love to do that. All righty. Thank you. Oh, and I'll have chat with you, and maybe we'll have you back on. Well, maybe have you back on right before you come back to us. We go do Zombie Road.
Yeah.
And Charlie can be on and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's do it. I have to do it when I get back because I have Charlie's back home. So once I get back there, message me and I'll let you know. We'll figure out a day and then we can figure out Zombie Road and it'll be awesome.
Yeah. Sounds awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Thank you so much. You have a good Thanksgiving and a good holiday.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody on here since it's like a day from now. So yes, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
You just cut her off, man. You're like, click.
I didn't cut her off. What are you talking about?
That's awesome. Oh, I forgot.
I don't. Yeah. Lauren said, "Hell yeah, Zombie Road."
Yeah, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, wow, what'd you do there?"
I just highlighted the whole screen.
That'd be cool if she comes and we get to go investigate with her.
That'd be cool. I haven't got to investigate Zombie Road yet, so.
Well, that's right. You didn't. You weren't. Yeah, that would be something new for you.
I've been to the park, which that's a whole nother park. Is the creep? It's in a whole other creepy aspect of it. My best friend, Maddie, her parents are. I don't know if they're still watching. But we went and we walked up a hill, saw a big cross. That was weird.
Yeah, and I apologize to Maddie's parents. And Maddie's peeps. I didn't realize what she would have meant.
As soon as it's Big Red's parents, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, thanks for coming and watching and stuff.
Yes.
Galveston, Texas would be cool. I mean, I know that's such.
Galveston so bad.
Now, is that where they stay when they go down there?
So that's where their property is.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to go down there.
Yeah.
And they'll stay down there, and then we'll just investigate while we're down there.
Yeah. Take a long
That'd be
picture.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because remember we were talking about that's what we were talking about, taking the Jeep some point. And
Oh
then
yeah,
you
the
can-
big
you can-
swamp meet. Yeah.
You can bring it down onto the beach and everything.
Yeah.
But,
Beach day.
yeah.
But yeah, we are done with events for the Christmas.
Real quick.
I made it.
Better than
Yes, you
ever.
did.
I
Because
want
I want to go to
Zombie.
Zombie Road.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
all the
we'll just
St.
get a
Louis
little group
people,
together.
yeah.
Yeah, get a little group together and
yep.
go to Zombie
Susan
Road.
said Jeannie, Cassie.
No, you don't get to go. No,
You get to go.
Just one of you out of the three, so you get to pick which one gets to go. Either Susan, Cassie, or Jenny.
Susan would be like,
Which one?
me. She's like, I'm typing on here. Me.
Maybe I should just call and see if we can go there, and we can just go there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Everybody seems they want to go. All right,
Yeah.
$200. Everybody gets to go. No, I'm just joking.
$1,000.
Let me call and see. Maybe since it's wintertime, I can get a. Let me call Zombie Road and see, let me call the county and see if I can get a song.
Yeah.
Maybe I can, since we're not doing nothing. This is like, and it's funny because this is like our time to
do what we want
to
to
do. To do like our own investigation.
We don't have any like events that we have to like go around or anything like that. So if we can, I mean, it's hopefully soon because it's not too cold right now. So
well, we are going to. Is it December 9th? It's Lauren's birthday. She invited us to go to an investigation. So we'll be going to Mineral Springs.
Yes.
On the.
It's been a while since we've been.
Yeah. So we'll be going to Mineral Springs on the 9th.
Yeah.
And everything. We got invited to that. And then hopefully we can do some things. Cross our fingers with the whole other thing that can possibly happen later. I can't say, but I know it's kind of weird that I can't say and I say it. So
yeah,
but
Big Red's fan.
Big Red's fan. There we go. That's all good. Now I know.
Yeah. For those who
Big Red's the one that makes my shoes. If everybody else saw my shoes, at Jason and Michael Myers. Yeah, I don't have them on. Big Red is the one that paints my shoes for me.
Yes.
And stuff. She
very
good artist. Very good artist. Yes, and stuff. So next week, I think we're just gonna have a talk. We're gonna come on here. If anybody's got any videos, should we maybe look at videos and maybe go through some videos?
Yeah, I mean, I know we talk about some kind of experiences that we've ever had, but I feel like there's a lot of like things that we don't talk about. Like we always talk about Waverly Hills Sanitarium, but we never talk about like the bathroom incident.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like those kind of little side things. I mean,
yeah.
And then me at the High Point Theater. Like we can talk about those kind of little experiences and.
Yeah, we'll kind of talk about some little things that we don't really easily talk about.
Yeah.
And stuff. And we'll try to pick out some videos this week of maybe some on TikTok or something to discuss. Like, if everybody thinks those are fact or crap or whatever. I don't know. And stuff. If anybody else has any videos that they want to send us, evidence, anything like that to discuss that we can discuss, let's do that for next week. And then December 5th, 12th, and 19th, we are loaded. We have Paraholics are on the 5th as a group. They have a podcast and their investigation crew. And then on December 12th, we will have Santiago Cirillo.
Don't miss that one. Oh, I'm so excited. I love him.
He is actually a movie star and a TV star, artist. He's with the Haya Nation. Shout out to Haya Nation and everything. He's the creator and the artist that does our hats, which I just will receive Friday. 3 new custom-made podcast hats. They're not up there. And
they're the ones that have the LED.
I have them right here. Hold on.
Dad's gonna take down the whole setup that we have. But they're the ones that I don't know if anyone's seen. We've showed them on the podcast before, but they're the UV light ones. They're all custom. They're all one of a kind because they are all hand custom, drawn on and painted. But we met him at the SoCon. And he was a hoot. I think we sat there and talked for him like 30 minutes straight. But he was so funny, and so his energy is just his energy. You're really gonna take down the whole thing.
Yes,
He's just a hoot, and he's so funny. But
so these are
ones that he made us. And then when we went to,
hold on, I'll let you look at them. So these are custom made. Okay, you can see.
yeah,
It says
Beyond the Shadows
podcast and everything like
That's
that.
our podcast logo.
So then they did, but when you you're not gonna be able to see that.
Here, let me see if we can. Here, people are like, oh, lie to me. Let's see if we can. Oh, you're not gonna.
No, it kind of glows in the dark.
You're not gonna be able to see on here, but yeah, no, they kind of they're UV light. Well,
now it glows in there. Well, you can keep them off. They're pretty good. That bad. And they glow in the dark. There's that one. So I'll have 3 podcasts, and I'll have three Haunted Souls paranormal ones for the company. And he sent me the picture today of them, and
they're different than those, but
they're all custom. They're all handmade. They're not alike. Hold on here. Let me see. You can talk to one too. But yeah,
he was in The Walking Dead. So our family watches The Walking Dead, and we've all watched it, and so that was really cool to meet him and talk to him. We've talked to him about him on the podcast before, but I didn't know he was going to be on our podcast. So I know we've talked about it before having him on, but that's really exciting.
Yeah, he posted today. I think I shared this. Said thank you, Dan Klein and Haunted Souls Paranormal. So those are the hats. You can kind of, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. But those are all the hats that he's made for us and everything. And that's how they kind of glow in the dark.
They're all, with UV light.
So those will all be those will be for sale, and they glow in the dark too, and everything like that. So and those will be for sale. They're custom, like I said. There's only 3 of a kind.
Yeah. At first, because we had them for ourselves, and then going to these events, ever since Witches Night Out, everyone's like, "Can I buy this hat?" We're like, "No, those are our hats."
And he was really cool at the Paracon when we met him. He said that if we wanted to start selling hats, he would make them for us and stuff like that. So
he's just a really cool dude.
So he'll be on.
Don't miss it. He's so funny.
Yeah, he's so funny. We'll have to tell him
this probably gonna be
his Walking Dead story when he was on The Walking Dead. It's great because he had no idea what Walking Dead was.
Yeah.
And to hear his story about when he got on set, the shit that he said and everything, the man is great. His story is awesome.
Great storyteller.
Yeah. He's got a movie coming out, actually the theaters. He's in a movie coming out. He's been on TV shows left and right. I've been watching, going back on his page. His name is Santiago Cirillo. He's been on America's Most Wanted as, acting as one of the crime people or whatever, when they do the reenactments. He's been on I think SUV or SVU and stuff like that. So we'll have to check him out. He'll be a blast. He'll be on the 12th. And then to finish our season finale for the season, our episode 40, like I said, Athena will be on Zombie, talking about the zombies and the apocalypse and stuff. And then we're going to take a month off for the holidays. Just busy and trying to get guests to come on, and it's the holidays. So we probably won't be back on until after the new year. And we have a really cool, if everything goes right, we're going to have a really cool season 2 premiere on that podcast. We're going to be live doing something that I haven't seen anywhere on a podcast.
I haven't seen it.
So it's kind of should we tell them?
We'll let it. Maybe they'll have to tune in for the season finale.
Oh yeah, we'll tell you what the season opener is. Yes. We'll have it nailed down at the season finale, and then you guys
gotta come in and listen.
Yes. So one more time, we're gonna advertise the Raquam Creations. I'm gonna show you. This is the glass
from the company.
We bought the shout out to Nicole from Haunted Souls. I'm sorry, St. Louis Haunted Mansion. she showed me this, and Mark also did from Lit Mansion tours from seeaghost.com. Right? Yep. Go check them out. They do tours. Maddie actually is learning to be a tour guide at the Lit Mansion. You can go on Thursday nights and see Maddie at the Lit Mansion.
Yeah. It's really fun.
But they did a seance with this, and when I saw this lady at the I told you this week, I said, well, I'm going to go to this convention and everything. We're going to go to this convention. We're going to pick out someone from this convention to be on this week's thing. And they had the bones guy, and you had a lady that was selling, a rib cage from an animal and the art and everything. And I saw this and I laughed because Nicole did a seance with this with a penny. She held like a Victorian penny inside here. And when she asked the question, and when it would ding the glass that was like, yes. And stuff. And I actually messaged Mark, and Mark's got actually like a King Arthur penny or something for me. So, and everything. But this glows under UV lights, so you can see it. It glows. So we kind of, one thing that we kind of might start doing at one of our hunts now is these little seance. We might do a little seance and stuff where we turn the lights out.
Maybe when free roam goes.
Yeah, and we'll turn the lights out and it sets on a platter, and then we just do the thing. So that's her. Yeah. That's her.
That's one of the things we got from her.
So if you want to put up her. You can find her on Instagram and Facebook, Cryptic Requel. She's got some really cool things. Those are the jewelry. You can buy the plates. Everything is radioactive, but not enough to hurt you. Not enough to kill you and stuff. It's called uranium glass. And this whole thing was really cool. All that jewelry lit up and everything. So yes, go check her out and everything. Go check out all of her jewelry. She does have I was going to get it for Maddie for Christmas, but I didn't know. But it was a rosary that has the planchette, Ouija board planchette, and it's made out of bones, and it's pink.
And the bones are pink.
Yeah, and stuff. So.
And it's so funny as you were second guessing, and then when he told me, I was like, oh, he's like, man.
Yeah, I did get also next week. What did I get?
What do you? Oh, yeah. I thought this was really cool.
So next week, everybody knows I'm an Incredible Hulk fanatic, and I'm gonna turn this.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn your light on. I don't probably need my.
So you can turn it on. So
why not?
The guy that had the haunted doll, I went by his booth like 3 different times, and he has like a whole big old photo book full of like autographs. He had Captain Spaulding autograph that he was selling for $100 because the man, he's not dead. All the autographs had authenticity. Well, because
what's so crazy is like you become like you die, and then your stuff becomes like half, like more than that, like over half.
He had the picture of the little boy on the bicycle on the big wheel and The Shining. The little boy had autographed it and stuff and everything. Nice. So he was shutting down early, and I've been to his booth like 2 times that whole weekend because I was kept eyeing this doll. He's probably
like, there's this freak
stuff.
Here.
Oh no, he knew. So the third time before when he was packing up, I went around his booth, and this was open to this page. And if anybody knows, I am a huge Incredible Hulk fanatic, and it's
there. You go.
But it's signed by Lou Ferrigno and stuff, and I was like, oh my goodness! I'm like, that's Incredible Hulk. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I've had that for like 3 or 4 years. I can't get rid of it. I was like, how much? He's like, $50, and I was just like, oh, okay. I was just like, it's like, I do like it, but Christmas is coming up. $50 is a lot.
Yeah.
He was like, why? Do you like the Hawk? And I said, well, yeah. I showed him my tattoo.
Jeep.
My Jeep is the Hawk, and everything.
Call the Hawk, I call it Bruce.
Yeah. So, he's like, how about you give me a T-shirt? I'll trade you a T-shirt for it.
You're like, so.
I was like, how about a hoodie? He was like, okay. So I didn't want to really get him for a T-shirt. I'm like, so I traded him for a hoodie. That's what some of the vendors do. We trade for stuff. And I actually got me a Lou Ferrigno autograph. I have to get the frame for it. And then we met a man. I met a man there. His name was Angel. He's an artist going blind. He's got a medical condition, and I think next week he'll be. I don't know if I want to have him on next week or on the main. I think I'm gonna put him on the season finale. But Angel, if you guys really want to check this man out, we'll have him later on. But I had to show this. This is pretty cool. When we got there, he had a cane, and I was like, oh wow, the guy's blind. And then he walks in with a wagon full of stuff, and I'm like, you don't have a cane. I'm like, and then I would walk by his booth, he didn't have a cane, and then he'd go to the bathroom, he'd have a cane. I'm like, okay, I'm confused. So the last day, I walked over there and I saw these prints. So these prints that he made, they're his drawings. But if you were to make a Frankenstein, on how to build a Frankenstein,
it has the drawings,
and the steps, and there's like 3 different pages, and they're really cool illustrations and stuff. It's kind of hard to see, but
and then there's a page. You said there's
a page in the middle. Yeah, there's 3 different pages. Wow. And I had seen it, and I was like, he had those. He had a werewolf. I think he had a witch or something like that. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to get one of these, man. They're really cool. And then he came over and talked, and I was like, hey, I got a question. I was like, are you blind? Are you going blind? And he said that he's got 40% vision from his peripheral vision. And I'm like, hey, we got something in common. And I'm like, we started telling stories of like, I scolded a guy at a buffet one time because he walked next to me and I didn't see it. I had a cup of soup and I hit him and it went all down his back. Sorry, buddy. So and stuff. But he'll be on. He's really cool. His name was Angel and stuff. And and stuff. So that was some kind of fun thing this weekend.
Just getting ready for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to eat for this Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're got like 3 pies.
My sister's on watching. She's making me a pineapple dump cake. I can't wait. Oh, and speaking of food, I had to go to the grocery store today to get stuff. These people were crazy.
I love holidays. I love Thanksgiving and I love Christmas, but I hate people on the holidays.
Yes.
I went to the mall, Bath Body Works, which if you've ever been to West County Mall, you literally can go in the top, park, and then walk right into the Bath and Body Works. A guy, people being idiotic, and I'm like, I just try to get my candles. It was so bad. I was like, oh
we
my
may get a
gosh.
candle. We sell candles. You can burn our candles.
I do.
Speaking of which, we have our new sage and cypress candles out. We also have soap. We have protection soap and grounding and cleansing soap.
Yes.
Thanks to shout out to Lauren for making the soap.
She said, "Woo!"
Yeah, she made some soap for us to sell. We're also going to be trying to sell wax melts.
Yep.
And actually, I had a skull wax melt I found in Halloween time, and we made some. Shout out to Stacy. She made some, and then I have to get another. I only have one.
They have like one little
thing, so you have to make multiples. But the wax melts that I put in all weekend at the thing, they still were smelling good on Sunday. They were frankincense and myrrh. Yeah. But we do have the frankincense and myrrh candles, and we do have the sage and cypress candles, which smell really good. We do have the soap, and we do still have the Booby Gone. If you want Christmas presents to give out to people, if you guys want to buy stuff and you're local, please just contact me.
Yes.
Don't pay the shipping and stuff. We'll figure out something. We'll meet up and stuff like that. So, anything else?
Have a happy holiday.
Yes, have a happy Thanksgiving. Please send some stuff. If you guys are looking at TikTok and watching videos like, oh my God, that video is crazy, please send it to us so we can discuss it next week. I would love to get some videos from you guys. Our evidence.
Yeah, I know we got some.
We got some other paranormal people
familiars on here.
Yeah.
But anybody else who's gone to haunted locations and have pieces of evidence, even like we just love to see it. We just like seeing. I don't know how many times we go to conventions or they're like, oh, we have a picture. We just like seeing pictures. That's what we do. So yeah.
So with that, everybody wear your sweatpants on Thursday. Your turkey eating pants. Funny, that's what your aunt said last night when I came out watching the football game. I had sweatpants on. She's like, "Why do you got your turkey eating pants on?" I'm like, "They're sweatpants."
I always wear sweatpants for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But
Everybody, please have a safe. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the
Yes.
following and everything.
we are thankful for you.
Yes, we thank you for Thanksgiving. Please have a nice Thanksgiving with your family.
Yes.
Everybody be safe and everything. And see you next.
I haven't ended it. You're
She's
good.
she's already up there ready to
No.
click, man. But everybody, please have a happy Thanksgiving and safe and stay spooky.
Bye, guys.